Alas, the immortal Gulf is only working between 2 and 6 in the afternoon now. Well, the car is 32 years old, so I think it's time to retire. It needs to be warm, it needs to be dry, otherwise it refuses to work. And by good luck and sheer coincidence, my neighbor and friend is selling the car that she recently inherited from her father. So it too is quite old. It's a 2009, but it's a luxury automobile next to what I've been driving. It's pretty big inside, and my main concern is that it seems like it's going to be able to haul some loads just fine. It's a hatchback that was non-negotiable, so that I can stick pieces of wood and things out the back. And it's 1,600 cc, so it's got enough energy to do some stuff. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This house is so cold in the morning in the winters because it doesn't see any sunlight for hours and hours. The sun comes up over that hill in about 2 hours from now. Over across on the other side of the port, it's sunny now. Well, it's not sunny, but they're getting direct sunlight. Hey, Dickie, are we gonna turn the house around? Huh? You know we are. You know we are, because that's what we do when we get bored. New project. So I have this box full of good quality cotton shirts that nobody wears anymore. I don't know where they came from, various people and places. But I only save stuff that's really good quality. And it needs to be cut up into strips and rolled into balls. It's really rare that I have this much free time on my hands and that I have to stay quarantined at this time. So I want to make the most of it. I won't have a chance to do these projects forever, really. From here on out, I've got so many plans. So I just want to make the most of it. It's such an ideal time to do it before moving, so when I move over there, everything is just in perfect condition. And it's also an antidepressant. For me, it's always been an antidepressant to work with my hands and to do projects that have beginnings, middles, and ends. Super effective antidepressant for me. God, I'm glad I looked through this whole box. Out of all of that, there's just a few pieces of cotton that are really worth it. But before I can go further with this mini project, I need to go coat myself with poisonous lotion for the mites so that I'm sure I'm not transferring anything to this. So I'm changing my sheets every 3 days, but I also have 2 separate sets of comforter and pillows because the mites cannot live off of your body for more than 3 days. So every 3 to 4 days, I switch out everything, knowing that whatever's here is in quarantine. I don't go over there and the mites will die off. It's a pain in the ass, but honestly, it's so nice to have fresh sheets every 3 days. I just did the steaming hot shower and then pesticide, natural sulfur, benzonite, I'll write it down, lotion, and then the sheets and everything get changed out. The day that I start the lotion for 3 days is the day that everything has to be switched out. I'm super careful about quarantining everything. All my clothing has gone into the wash. I've also taken the cover off the couch that's been near me, although to be honest, I haven't really sat on it. And I have removed my teal cloth chair that I had for a couple years. It is no more. It was getting pretty grotty anyway. It definitely had mites in it. Fortunately, the mites that I have do not transfer to animals, so I have been able to give that chair to Bianca here. Bianca is not my cat, but she doesn't seem to know that. She's been around for a very, very long time. Dare I say, a decade. So this holiday season is all about hard surfaces for me. No tablecloths, no pillows. It's something else. The puzzle is a nice distraction. This one isn't particularly exciting, but it's not that easy. For so many years, if I saw a puddle like this, it would strike fear and trepidation in my heart. The golf just simply couldn't do it. It would stop right in the middle, and that would be it. Okay, let's see what happens now. Whole new world open to me. I guess the bar was pretty low, wasn't it? A car that can't go through puddles isn't much use in the winter, especially around here.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to squash it. Yeah, straight. But we do need that gravel for something. That will then put the lights in and
The piece of fabric that I've been using on the couch this week is one of my very favorites from my loom. So this is cotton that was woven into a carpet that I bought in central Athens from a traditional loom weaver in 1985. It was very, very large. And over the years, it got exposed to a lot of weather and everything. It started kind of to shred. So I took it apart and I used the cotton and I re-wove it into a new carpet, smaller. Unbelievable. So if in 1984, it was made with used rags, say the rags were a few years old, like 1980. We're talking about 45-year-old fabric, and it's just amazing. It's such a beautiful carpet. It washes up really nicely, and it's light enough to also to use on the furniture. For a cat that doesn't like being pet that much, you sure do like being around people, don't you? All right, that one's done. 5 more days of rain predicted, so I think I'll get another one out. Let me know in the comments if you're as obsessed with puzzles as I obviously am. Since I was a child, my family always had a table designated just for puzzles all year round somewhere in the house. And I haven't strayed from that. It's gonna be fun. And it's so few pieces. I'll rip right through this thing. First, I need to go make a coffee. Hey, today I'm gonna share something super quick, which you won't believe, with only 3 ingredients: acorn flour, walnuts, and butter. You can make the most elegant dessert. It's not my recipe, it's my friend Daniela Donna's, but it's in my book, Eating Acorns, which you can find on Amazon. And you will not believe how easy this is. You don't even have to have one of these, but if you do, even easier. "150 grams each of acorn flour and ground up walnuts. If you're in America and you prefer recipes in cups, it's 1 cup of acorn flour and 1 1/4 cup of chopped up walnuts. And then you want 115 grams of butter. This is 125, so I'm just gonna remove a bit. And the butter needs to be at room temperature. I'm gonna add some vanilla sugar. And we'll also add a pinch of salt just to accentuate the flavors. Not much. That's it. It's the entire recipe. So now that it's all sticking together nicely, you just take small walnut-sized balls. You don't want them to get too big. That's a secret. Compress them nicely. I mean, you can whip a batch of these up in no time. Now, the question is, where do you get acorn flour? If I were in the States, I would go to Korean market and try what they call an acorn starch. That'll work fine. I sell acorn flour, and I sell this little package, which is 150 grams, exactly what this recipe calls for. I do have an e-shop, marciemayer.com. But I'm not doing this to sell flour. I'm doing this because I just want to share with you something that's so simple. It really highlights the power of collaboration, because this is from a wonderful woman named Daniela Dana, who's at the New England Acorn Cooperative. And they're not producing products, but they are spreading the gospel of acorn. And she came up with this recipe and was very generous in sharing it. I think this goes really well with my theme recently in my life of less is more, which has been a lifelong theme, but now it's even more acute than it ever was. So I usually get 30 balls out of this recipe at this size. Now it's time to pop them in the oven. Preheated oven, 150 Celsius, for 20 minutes. This old oven I bought in the year 1997 for my second Mexican restaurant that was in Mykonos. Still working beautifully. Okay, so that was 20 minutes at 150. And the most crucial thing in this recipe now is not to touch them. If you touch them now, they will disintegrate. So it's crucial to let them cool. And then I'm going to move them over to the rack and let them cool even more. And then they get tossed in icing sugar. And carefully roll them around. Get them completely covered. And you can either stack them on a plate or serve them in individual bowls like that. They're so good and so wholesome. Well, the last time I made them, which was about a week ago, I went through 30 balls in 30 hours. Let's see what happens this week.